Hello, my romance girlies, and welcome to my podcast, Fictional Analysis with Kajal. I have finally finished the 800 plus pages monster, and today I'm finally reviewing Chaotic by Shantel Tessier. Before starting, tap that follow button and share this podcast with your friends. This book was too much, and when I say too much, I mean too much. So, first, let me tell you that there are a lot of scenes in this book which may not be it for you. They may trigger you or something. So, please read its trigger warnings, and if it's not for you, then kindly skip that part of the novel because your mental health matters. So, the male lead of this novel was Cashton Pierce, and female lead was Everett Sinclair. And everyone calls her Eve, so that's what we will also do. Let me give you a basic outline of this novel. Eve and Cashton met 6 years ago at his initiation, but Eve ran from him. And after 6 years, when both of them meet again, Cashton was not letting her go. He follows her, they interact, talk, and do many more things. If you know, you know. Eve does not think that she is worthy of love because of what happened with her in the past, and Cashton is hell bent on making her believe that she is the one for him. After facing many difficulties, she was given an assignment by the lords to complete, and it was her biggest fear come true, even if it was just a hallucination, just an imagination of her mind. They both survived it and got there happily ever after. So, this was a pretty basic outline that I gave to you to give you a basic idea of the book. Now, about the things that I liked in this book was that even though how much broken Eve was, no matter what happened with her in the past, Cashton never gave up on her, stood with her, and believed that she was the one for him, made her feel worthy. And also, how much Eve took the risk to love Cashton, knowing that she might get betrayed. So, I think these two things work for the book. Now, about the things that I didn't like about this book was first, that this book was too big. It was 854 pages big. I think that was not working for me because some points of the novel, I got really bored reading it and wanted it to just finish. The second thing that I didn't like about this book was that it had so many past scenes. At first, I was irritated with it. Like in every chapter, there were two or three past scenes, and it was like I wanted to read something in the present. I wanted to read something that was actually happening and not just an imagination of their past. But as the story graduated, the past scenes got less and finally ended. So that was a bit positive thing for me. I wasn't particularly interested in reading this book during the first half. I was really bored. But after the half of the book ended, the time when we knew that Eve was Hayden's half sister, I got pretty interested in reading what happened next. Third thing that I didn't like about this book was how it was too much connected with the previous books in this series. When I am reading Chautic, that means I want to stay present with Eve and Cashton, not remember all the things that happened in Madness or Chautic. Sorry, the things that happened in Madness and Carnage. So these were the things that didn't work for me. And one thing in which I was pretty confused at first was that why was Ashton behaving like that, like throwing her past with Hayden and Cashton in Charlotte's and Eve's faces. I didn't like her for it. She was also making advances towards Hayden. I felt a little confused at first for it, but after reading the ending of the story, I understood why she did that. Now let's talk about the plot twist we never saw coming, that Eve was Hayden's half sister. I bet no one would have ever expected or imagined that we would get this information in the half of the book. I didn't expect it. I never thought of it that this might be it. So it was a good plot twist. I really liked it, and that's when the things got really interesting. The author left us hanging, thinking whether Eve had a third twin or not. I think it was a good thing to keep the readers hooked up. So, what do you think? Does Eve has a third twin or not? What I think is that she has a third twin, and that sister will either be the villain or heroine of Adam's book, which I think we will get next. Now, about the conclusions that I made in my first impressions video of this novel. First was that has killed her own father, but now we know that it is not true. Her father was Hayden's father, and we all know that Eve didn't kill him. So, the first conclusion was wrong. Second was that at the end, Eve would run from Caston, and Caston would force Eve to stay with him, and Eve would run. I don't think that it was totally correct or totally wrong. It was somewhere in the middle, as Eve did really sacrifice herself for the uh, safety of Caston. She sacrificed herself to the Lords, knowing that she might not survive it. But she did, because she is the heroine. She will survive, right? So I think this conclusion was also not that correct. So at the end, none of my conclusions were right, and I totally accept it. I will give this novel a 3.5 stars out of 5 because the length of the story, it's too much, and its connection with the other stories was just not working for me. So, what do you think will be the name of Adam's book? And will we ever even get his book or not? Tell your thoughts in the comments. So, this is it for the day. If you liked hearing my thoughts, click that follow button and comment your thoughts about this book. And if you want the link of the website from where I download all my novels for free, DM me and I will share you the link. Till then, stay delusional.